video, just the word video, is something that's meaningful to me. I ran a festival called the Dallas Video Festival. I showed video and music video in nightclubs, so this world of video was really interesting. And I had started writing a column in the Dallas Morning News about music videos. And for reasons that had nothing to do with me, they didn't fund it. Two people thought they were going to pay for it, and they didn't. So I went over to the Dallas Times-Herald, which is like across the street, and started doing a music video column for them. And then I pitched the idea of doing a home video column because nobody was really writing about home video in that time, and nobody really knew much of what was going on in there. So what I did was I would write a review of some videos, and then I would call 3 video stores and ask for their top 10 sales and top 10 rentals. At the Dallas Times-Herald, I pitched the idea of writing a second column on home video, and there really wasn't anybody writing anything in this space. So what I tried to envision this column, I would write reviews of home videos, and then I would do this list, a top 10 list. And, it was just me. I had no team, so I just picked 3 video stores: a small video store, a large video store, and a medium-sized video store. And I would just call them up and say, what are your top 10 rentals and what are your top 10 sales? And so early on, I was sort of looking into this as both the business and what it meant sort of culturally, that people were able to watch videos. And, the home video world, there's sort of 2 distinct parts of it. There are feature films that have been transferred for video, and then there are these other things. And, it's hard to remember back those days, but like exercise videos were a really big deal. And there were all other kinds of crazy ideas that people made, VHS or Betamax. That was the thing back then. You had to have both of those. So there was a lot of different kind of material. For the rental, there were all kinds of things that would be big each week, and it was kind of surprising. But for sales, there was one group of videos that always did better. You want to guess what that is?
Was it pornography?
No, that's a whole other story. We'll get to that in a minute. It's kids. And the reason the kids' videos sold well is what would happen is they would rent a video, and then the kid wouldn't want to, kids want to watch it over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. So then after, they would say, oh, I'll just buy it. So kids' video was really kind of moving things forward in another way. And you mentioned pornography. I really didn't cover pornography at all. It was not part of my beat, but it is kind of a truism that there are 2 communities that explore new technologies before everybody else. So one is religious broadcasters. Religious broadcasters were into home video very early. They were also into satellites and every other technology. They are always on the cutting edge because they have the money and they have a built-in audience. Pornographers have always sort of led the way. I remember when Blu-ray first came out. Actually, no, when DVDs first came out instead of VHS. And I called a porno shop in Dallas. I said, are you selling them? He said, yes. And I knew that would be big because it's like they are the predictors of what formats will win. And, not all formats were good. There was Laserdisc, And laser discs were really great because they had very good image quality. But the reason laser discs never sort of broke through is in order for technology to work, you have to get the price of the gear to a lower level. In order to get the price to a lower level, you have to have a certain number of sales. So like VHS decks sold very quickly. And they were, when they first came out, they were like $400, and then they became like $200, and then it became $100, and went down. So when your playback mechanisms are inexpensive, a format will thrive. But Laserdisc players never got to that price point, and they didn't ever do pornography. So that's what really killed them.